All right, hopefully everybody's got me back. So we are having some internet issues here at the house today. Good old Cox Communications. All right, well that was fun. Like I said, we are having some internet issues here at the house. Unfortunately, out of my control. Anyway, so hopefully everybody's still saying this, but off we go. So at this point here, we're going to start setting some of our information up. We want our departure heading, 251 degrees. It's going to be for runway 24 left in LA. And we're going to set our initial target altitude up to 13,000 feet. Yeah, like I said, it's the internet. Unfortunately, it's out of my control. Cox had an outage earlier. For those of you who don't know, Cox Communications is someone who provides internet out here. And when it works, it's great, man. It's fast, but they're having issues today. Of course, today of all days. Haven't streamed in over a year, and they picked today. You can ask Catheta, guys. I have the worst luck. And for those of you who don't know, Catheta's over on Twitch. I think he's on YouTube, too. Let's see here. So, let's continue on. You guys missed probably a bit of the captain's flow, but that's okay. I was just checking all the same stuff. So now we'll get into the fun stuff. We do want to make sure our altimeter is set on both 3003, 3003. All right, and once again, flaps are retracted, speed brakes are retracted. You want to make sure throttles are at idle, thrust reversers are closed, engine cutoff switches are in the cutoff position, and now we're going to set our parking brake. So depress and then release, and we can go ahead and set our trim, which was 3.2. Okay, I wanted to make sure that everything was working. You can see it moving. Oh, I don't have the electric pumps on. Did I miss a page? I just thought about that. I think we might have missed something because I was going too fast. I guess I need to slow my butt down. Because I believe that I didn't start the APU, and I believe that I should have. No, not yet. Huh. Trim should be responding by now. Oh well, we'll just keep doing it. We'll check it before we go. Okay, not a big deal. That means that I actually got ahead of myself and didn't need to do that yet, which wouldn't be the first time. Anyway, so off we go. Yeah, I'm ahead of myself. That's exactly what happened. All right, so remember I told you that the captain would be checking the checklist button, so here we go. Checklist. Ah, come on. I need to create it. I thought I had a view for this, but apparently I don't. All right, so we've got oxygen checked, flight instruments, heading, altimeter, etc. are all checked. There we go. Checklist is now complete. And from here, I like to just return to the engine page every time that I'm done with it. That way my engines are always up and ready to be monitored. Alrighty, and now's the APU. There it is. APU now comes to the start position. We're going to wait and monitor the ECAS for a run. Now, cool thing, on the 777, the left forward pump will always automatically turn on. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking. I knew I was doing it too early. Yep. It's exactly what came to my mind. I got ahead of myself. It's almost like I made a tutorial guide that I, could just follow because it hasn't told me to set the trim yet. But really cool thing, as I was saying about the 777, is automatically when you start the APU, will start the left forward pump. But when it comes time to start the engines, you need to make sure, and it's part of the checklist, that you actually push the button. Otherwise, when you turn the APU off, there will be no fuel pressure to that line. All right, so we are looking for APU running. We're not seeing it just yet. Does take a minute. Always fun to wait. Hurry up and wait. There it is, APU running. All right, and once again, we already verified the APU Gen is on, so that's awesome. You can also see that the primary external power stays on, but the secondary will turn off when you start the APU. So another really cool little feature about it. So it sort of manages a lot of this for you, which is always fun. So at this point, we can come down to the tab. The tab, bro. And clear the ground power. Ground power can be released. There we go. And at this point, we'll go ahead and clear the jetway as well. We should see that pulling away. Yep, off she goes. Now we're going to come down and also check the doors. You can do it from... Wow, that would suck. Boy, if you forget to do that, well, I guess you have chocks for a reason, but let's go to menu. We're going to go to FS Actions. And we're going to come down to ground connections. You can see the chocks are set. We're going to go ahead and remove those now. We're also going to come back here, go to doors. We're going to close all doors. We're going to come back to our tablet, go to ground services, make sure all are released. And all doors are now armed, which is great. All right. And do a few other checks here. So we're just going to make sure that our seatbelt signs are on and that no electronic devices is also set to auto. Remember that you never want to turn your seatbelt signs on until you are done fueling. So anytime that the aircraft is fueling, you want your seatbelt signs off. That's obviously in case of emergency and you need to get people off of the aircraft. Now, with the demand switches, this is a little different than what you would expect. So it's time to start these guys up, get us some hydraulic power, like we were just talking about. And first, you're going to turn the right one on. You're going to set it to auto, wait for the fault light to extinguish. And at that point, you'll do C1 and C2 electric hydraulic pumps, and then work your way from left to right. Turning those all to the auto position. Fuel pumps, remember, make sure you turn that left one on. You guys hear the bleeds come off now. All fuel pumps are on. Center pumps are off. Beacon light is now on. Oops, I forgot I turned that on a little too soon. Once again, coming downstairs. We're going to do a cancel recall again. TCAS, engine shutdown and TCAS. That's exactly what we would expect. LNAV and VNAV can now be armed. That's the other really cool thing I like about it. You can do it before you even leave the gate. And make sure that we go to our checklist page and do the pre-start checklist. So flight deck door is closed and locked. MCP is set, V2 is set, heading track is set, altitude is set. Takeoff speeds have been verified. CDU pre-flight is completed. Trim, here we go. Right about there. Close enough for what we're doing here today. Trim, taxi brief. Completing, we are going to taxi to the runway. There's our brief. If we hit something, we're not going anywhere. Okay? Okay. Easy checklist, guys. I like keeping things simple for my team. And return to the engine page for engine start. All right, and we've removed all chocks, made sure all doors are closed and armed. It is now time to start. This is the simplest aircraft to start, but first let's go ahead and set a pushback. I like to come outside just because it's cool. All right, so we're going to try to go tail right or tail left, depending on how, well, I guess what angle you're looking at. Tail right if you're in front of it. I think we have plenty of room because it's going to be me driving it. So once again, if we hit something, My bad. Alright, so this is probably one of the coolest parts, though. It's so easy to use this.
To ground. This is ground. Stand by.
But what's really nice about starting the 777 is you don't have to, there's no delay. You don't have to wait for any kind of RPMs or anything like that. You hit the start switch, turn the cutoff off. Or set the cutoff to on. Just click, click, wait for the engine to start. So simple in this aircraft. And then once you hear it tick back to the norm position, the switch will go just like it did in the other Boeings from start to norm. Once you hear that, fire the other one up. Let's go, bro!
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed. The parking brakes are set. You may lift. Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
I could do that with one hand, just pick it up.
Standing by for pushback.
Cool. Get my feet on the pedals. We ready? Okay, we're ready. All right, so let's do this first. We're going to start the left. I know he hasn't given us clearance yet, but no, I don't want to start the left. I want to start the right. I'm sorry. Out of sequence. Out of sequence. I'm such a bad person. There we go. Release the parking brake. And reverse.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead.
DGH Paradox, how you doing? Push. I have problems with the pre-plan. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Brakes are released.
And so it's just one of those things that it just, I don't know. So I tried it last week, one day. And like some days, like I said, it goes really well. And then other days, not so much. Oh, other way. I think that one's actually ready to go. Yep. Too soon. Yeah, I'd like to find out why my pre-plan doesn't work, because it certainly increases the immersion. I think you can hit like Control P or Shift P and it just does it. Definitely is a lot more fun, but yeah. Like, if it wasn't for you guys, like, I like being in the external view, or in the internal view. But you know what? Let's try it. See if I can break anything. I'm gonna turn it real tight because I have no idea what's behind us. That should be about right. Let's see how bad I slack. Nope, not yet. Get on the line. Just shove it over. Oops, now you guys are gonna see that. Stop the pushback.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Yes, I am alive, sir. Barely. It's been a rough year, man. Good to see you, brother. How are you? Oh, gotta set the parking brake.
Parking brake set. Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft. Ground.
Just a building full of people. Who needs them?
Roger. Good engine start.
They shouldn't have been standing there.
Have a good flight. Holding position, waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
I'm trying to repeat that movie Airplane. All right, let's start walking through some of this. So we have APU now gets to the off position. Engine anti-ice is set to the auto position. However, if outside temperatures are negative 10 degrees Celsius or below, they automatically go to on. We are turning and burning here, actually. Do a recall. Should be only TCAS. Good to go. Now we can set flaps 5. Oh, too much. There we go. All right. Do a flight controls check. And yeah, I could go to the flight control page, but they seem like they work. And let's do the before taxi checklist. Yeah, right? But it's one of those movies that, like, you feel like you've lost some brain cells when you watch, but you have to do it again. That movie is ridiculous. I think one of my favorite part is where the captain is running through the airport and everyone keeps handing him the brochures. It's one of the best. It's a hell of a day to quit sniffing glue. All right, let's go to checklist. And GAM, yeah, I hear that, bud. I hear that, man. Hopefully everything is going well for you. Enjoying your PC-12 flying must be real rough. For those of you guys who don't know, Captain GAM is a real-world PC-12 pilot. Gets to fly to the freaking Caribbean all the time. Must be hard. Actually, no. You moved, didn't you? That might not be true. He still used to. Talks about St. Bart's. It's not that hard. Not that I'm bitter about it. All right. So we've completed our checklist. Let's go to taxi light now comes to the on position. Runway turn-off lights, night operations, or low visibility. We can check the status page, sir. That's actually in the checklist, so you're right. No warning. So that's the other cool thing, actually, while we bring that up. One of the cool things is if any of these numbers are too low, especially the oil quantity. Oh, the APU. I was like, why is that dropping? If you have any, like, a low hydraulic fluid or anything like that, you will see an R next to whatever source it is, telling you that you need to refill it. Stats page is good. Engine return. All right, and I believe we are ready to taxi to runway 24 left. Which I suppose I should bring up Navigraph. Maybe, kind of, sort of. Actually, I don't think I need to. This one has Navigraph, doesn't it? I don't normally use it inside the tablets. I find it to be more of a pain in the butt, to be honest. No, but you know what I could use? Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Forget it. The departure airport. I want to look at the charts. And I want a airport chart. And see, we are on the north end, taxi route. So we're back over here. We're going to taxi to the right, and it's our first runway. Felt like I needed to do that. Yes, my dad had me watch that years ago. Talk about an old freaking movie. Holy crap, man. Let's set our transponder now to transponder. That is an old movie, dude. Old movie. I will tell you too, this thing gets taxing very quickly and then like just wants to keep on going. It's so cool. I think an auto taxi would be cool. Someone could make a service that would auto taxi your aircraft so you could just hang out in the wing views without doing any kind of replay. That'd be awesome. Yes. It is ridiculous, some of the machines that they tried. Like, I get it. Aviation was... There was no aviation. But, man, when you look at some of the things they came up with... Why? There's no physical contact. You can't blow anything up, like crash into anything. None of them have an actual... Well, I guess there's a couple aircraft that have a damage model, but I don't think it has a collision model with another aircraft. By the way, I'm making that turn way too fast, but that's okay. I won't tell if you don't. So you want to try to keep your ground speed under 10 knots when turning pretty much any of the commercial airliners. Jay, what's up, my dude? Happy New Year to you as well, good sir. Happy New Year to you as well. I'm hoping for a better year, man. 2024 sucked, to say the least. But things are gonna be better this year. This gigantic guy, man. He's huge. Oh, now I'm only taxing at 10 knots. Probably just need more monster. Someone needs to, like, find out how to get me, like, an absolute... It's just... Robert Randazzo, the man in the house. Guys, for those of you who don't know, Robert Randazzo is the lead developer for PMDG, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's your role. No, get out of my stream, bro. No. Just mark it fail now. I think 2025 is going to be a good one too. But hopefully the rest of the world thinks so too. Great. One of the main guys for PMDG watching me fly his aircraft for the first time live. That's great. Love it. Love that for me. Alright, we're going to hold short here. Just to configure us. Alright, so we're going to first start by coming upstairs. Turn those landing lights on. You guys can actually just click right here and it will flip all lights on or off very easily. Makes it very nice. Taxi light can now come to the off position. We're going to step downstairs once again. Make sure auto throttles are on. LNAV and VNAV are set. Flaps are set to 5, indicating on the ECAS. Transponder now goes to TARA, traffic avoidance and awareness. There you go. TCAS has now been removed. And now we can do the before takeoff checklist. And all it is flap. So takeoff checklist is complete. Going back to the engine page, it's now time for you guys to watch me make an absolute ass out of myself with a takeoff. There's always pressure, dude. Every time I do one of these, somebody jumps in. It's like, damn it. First time I ever, I think it was the PC-12. Captain Gam came in, and it was like, damn it. Not that I don't want you guys here. Alright, let's see if I can get this right. So, my understanding is if you wait for this line... Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I'm always scared to push that throttle too far. You want to have a little oomph where we're going, but wait for this line to line up here and give her a turn. See what we get. And I slowed it down. Come on, baby. Gotta give her more oomph. Just about. Yes, I know it's not my fault. Why are the spoilers out? I think I bumped it. That was my fault. See? You guys are already messing me up. Alright, so we're going to set N1 to about 55%. Make sure the engines are stable. Once we're good, we can do toga. You can either bind that key like I have to your throttle, or you can click this little screw right here, and that will engage toga. Then we're going to climb, crash, and then I'm going to close the stream and forget that Robert Randazzo ever watched me fly his aircraft live. Okay? Okay. All right. Off we go. There's roughly 55%. Engines are stable. We're out of here. Airspeed alive. Little forward pressure on the yoke until 80 knots. Releasing that pressure. V1 approaching. There's V1. There's rotate. Slowly pulling back. Coming about 3 degrees per second. Positive rate. Gear coming up. Let's go find our flight directors. There they are. Flap speed are now ready. Flaps coming up. Come on, baby. Thing climbs like a bat out of hell. And at this point, we can now engage autopilot. And she's up and running. This a check ride? Yeah. Yeah, I guarantee you're going to need more ink, man. Go away. Don't you have dinner or something to eat? Yeah, I bet so. I think everybody has a number for me to write down. All right, let's see where we're at. So we are now flying our flight path. Aircraft is navigating well. Gear handles up. Autopilot's on. LNAV, VNAV tracking. Set altitude is at 13,000 feet. Let's keep working through our list here. Groovy. We're sitting tight for a minute. We're going to simulate clearance to 18,000. We'll increase that here in a minute. We've contacted departure, told them that we don't really care what they tell us to do. We're going to do it anyway. We're in a plane this size. What do they care? And Fabiano? Gosh, what is it with you people? I've got Robert Randazzo in my stream. I've got Jeff Fabiano in my stream. I know, right? Now I got Jeff judging. All right, let's go ahead and bring our nav display range up a bit here. Watching our altitude. Going up to 7,000 now. Looking at that gorgeous picture. That's a beautiful airplane. I remember the first time I ever got to see this aircraft actually fly. It was shortly after Boeing released it. They flew it over Tucson. And I'll never forget, they couldn't have been at 3,000. And it was so freaking big. Now keep in mind, Tucson International used to be part of this, one of the strategic air command bases. So it used to have B-52s, B-36s, things like that. But obviously not during my time. And so the biggest thing I've ever really seen fly out of here before, I've seen a 747 a couple times, but that was when I was really young. And I actually saw one, funny enough, a couple weeks ago. All right, passing through 10,000 feet, we're going to bring those landing lights up. Tax light is already off. We're going to find the right button. Do our after takeoff checklist. Landing gear and flaps are set. Return to the engine page is where I like to keep it. Okay, next step is we're going to submit clearance. Let's go all the way up to flight level 350. Jeff, Happy New Year to you as well, good sir. Happy New Year to you as well, man. Hope you and the missus are doing well, bud. I don't get dinner? Oh, I want something to eat. Anyways, when the 777 flew over my house, I remember I was in the backyard playing, young boy, and watched that thing come over right over the roof. My parents live less than 3 miles from Tucson International. Oh! Busted! Damn it! Jesse, now you're fired. Everyone who says I'm doing something wrong can just be fired. Oops. Hey, that's my first that I'm aware of. Robert apparently is running out of ink. That's my first mistake critical that I'm aware of. And even then, it's not critical. I knew where the plane was going. The flight directors are on. Saw it over here on the first officer side, so I can have it where I want it. Where are we at? 15,000? Happy New Year as well. Yeah, guys, my goal for 2025 is to do far more live streams. No, it wasn't. We are simulating ATC didn't care what I did, okay? I know a guy who knows a guy who did that other guy who went to the other place, and he said I was totally fine to do whatever I wanted in this plane. Okay? And that's how it's going to be from now on. That's just it. Mike gets free reign. I did follow my guide. Just missed that particular line. Yes. Yeah, of course it does, right? There you go. It's fine. It's great. Got top of climb on it. Yep. So it still worked. Well, you guys got to be so mean to me. 757 is another big one. So it's pretty cool. So where my house is right now, I've got Tucson International over here, and then Davis-Monthan Air Force Base is right here. And Davis-Monthan Air Force Base is where the largest aircraft storage yard in the world is right now. I'm pretty sure it's the largest. And so we're right in the flight line if they fly out to the south. And so it was a couple days ago, 747 came right over. I was outside washing my car when Sophie, it was a 747 converted for space view. They basically put a big telescope into it, and the side of the hatch of the 747 would open it up, and they would be able to, obviously, they fly at a real high altitude. So long story short, it's now over at Pimax Air and Space Museum, and I got to see it when it came over the house in the landing pattern. Dope. Even Sophie, and she's a smaller 747. Like, it was a modified 747. Damn, it's another big plane. Even the small one. It's a gigantic aircraft. I have the FPV running. Alright. So I think now we're just chilling until we start talking about the descent. Alright, Robert. Let's see what you got. How bad was it? It's got to be pretty awful if you're on page 3. Hey, Fred. Happy New Year to you as well, man. It's actually been a nice, chill winter. It's been cool. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, you guys were out here doing that? Damn, dude, I wish I was here. I wish I had known that. That'd been cool. I'm in Tucson, man. I'm probably 10 minutes tops from Pimax Air and Space Museum. That'd have been cool. That'd have been a fun meetup. And I would have came on my YouTube channel and just blasted everything you guys were doing, made it all public. The tease is real. The Salty 747 wasn't bad. Like, they put a lot of effort into that thing. I'll give them that. Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. I would love to see that, just to see how it's done, just for my own interest. That'd be cool. Yeah, let me know. My dad and I used to go to the Pimax Air and Space Museum probably once a month when I was younger. So it was always my dad and my 3 older, I'm the youngest of 4 children with 3 older sisters. And so my 3 older sisters and my mom would always go out on the weekends. They'd go do their girl shopping things and whatnot. And then my dad, it was either staying at home watching Top Gun. When I was a little boy, it was called our Dude movie. And then or we'd always end up being either out tooling around, messing around with crap in the shop, or going to the Air Museum. We went to the Air Museum a lot, man. I loved it. Do not do the feel there. The feel there is wrong. Dude, the best one is on flightsim.to. Yeah. It's pretty damn good. Yep. Is this the right one? Who's the developer? Where's the developer? Yeah, this one. Here, I'll put it in the chat for you. It's the best one. Like, look at the pictures, the screenshots. Yeah, the feel there was... I was really excited at first because the modeling seemed really good. Like, it looked like the actual 3D models were nicer. But then the more I got into it, it was inaccurate as hell. Yeah, it's a good one. It really is. And we don't need Prescott. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm an Arizonan. I'm allowed to say that. Well, there is a gentleman here who can probably answer that question, Josh. He happens to be the lead man of PMDG. Robert, the question is, when will PMDG be in 2024? Let's see if he's still here. So, I have been actually on Twitch for a long time. My problem is that... Alright, so... Pour me sad moment for sorry for a minute. A year ago, actually this week, funny enough, my wife and I separated, and I very quickly became. I got my kids 90% of the time. They're here pretty much all the time. I have my day job, I have YouTube, and I have the Patreon thing that I do, and obviously with the kids, and it got too hard. Yeah, right. That's a hard one to answer. Cruise out to 2,000 to go. So anyway, I love streaming because this interaction is a blast. The rest of my interaction is with a 7 and a 9-year-old. My two little girls who are absolutely fantastic. But it's sort of hard talking to them about General Electric engines and Rolls-Royce engines and cabin pressure and things. Like they look at me a little clueless. So it's kind of fun. But I'm hoping 2025, I'm getting things ironed out where I can start doing this more often. And plus, they're good kids. Like they're behind me. They're in the living room playing around. What if we know? That's right. That's right. I do remember that. So, give you guys context to Robert's thing. There is an issue with the 2024 SDK that is preventing quite a few features of their aircraft from working. We are all waiting on a platform patch. That's a fact. So they're actually waiting on a Sobo, guys. Essentially, is what it comes down to. I like that. Like we know. Let me know how you really feel. Don't hold back, Robert. Looking at our charts here for a second, which are also in the guide. Should be after bowl, so we got a ways to go yet. We're gonna be here for a while. This goes blank. Yeah, that's what I've been doing in 2024 too. sort of chilling. Still got a lot of cool features, guys. Like, give 2024 a chance. If you haven't messed around with it, there's still plenty of aircraft that are a ton of fun in it. They really are. The high definition sceneries that they have, go to those areas. Like, they're gorgeous. Absolutely amazing. Even being as, I know you've probably seen it all over YouTube by this point, but fly through the Grand Canyon yourself, dude. It's sick. It's badass. I actually had my first crash a desktop in 2024 last week. So, like, gotta give them credit where credit is due. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing that unfortunately got pushed back this last year was me getting my PPL, but I think we're going to go for it this year. I think I'm finally, like I said, starting to iron things out. Plus, I've had to lose a lot of weight. I've lost 54 pounds this year. The FB is great. It's a cool EFB. They did a great job of this. I think I got some brown stuff on my nose. Yeah, no. Yeah, it hasn't been bad. Murphy! What's up, buddy? How are you? Make sure you guys check out both Jeff Faviano and Two-Tone Murphy's channels, guys. Amazing streamers. Jeff does fabulous content. He's all over the damn place. Murphy's like me, does a lot of flight simulation. He says, Murph! Thanks, Fred. Yeah, I want to, man. It was just about, again, learning how to do that single parent thing on my own budget. Sort of threw me for a loop this year. It was Christmas was interesting. It's in its own hangar now. That's our 71. But yes, you can walk around it. Yeah. It's still taped off. Like, you can't get up to it unless they've changed that recently. But, I mean, you can get close to it, yeah. Same with you, Murphy. Happy New Year, bud. That sounded very Canadian of me. Bud. I do get better FPS in 2024. Yeah, same. I get far better performance in 24. Oops. You making fun of my wing views? Am I not cool enough for you? What do you mean? Where'd you see ground speed? You 541 miles an hour, or 441 knots. Oh, gotcha. I don't know why you gotta pick on people. Don't come in here and be a bully, Jeff. Yes, I know now. I caught up now. He's being a bully to Murph. I feel like Murph is like Highlander. There can be only one, bro. No, I got it now. I should have known better knowing who was talking, but you know. I think they're waiting on the same thing. I think there's an SDK issue that's preventing that. Don't crash until I get back. You're damn right I have. Trebek's key with the ND on pen. I wanted to see if I could turn this aircraft into the Vomit Comet. Start doing parabolic arcs at high altitude. I know. Don't crash until I get back. Like, thanks, bro. Appreciate the confidence. Epic. I know why you gotta be mean. Alaska? What are you talking about? AAL's American Airlines, bro. No, I have not. But now I want to. Never mind me, dumb. Your shoes are on the wrong feet. Oh, no, yes. I actually, damn right, I did do that. I did a news announcement about that the other day. Lyceum Studios is badass, man. Yes. Simwork Studios, yeah. Tri-jets are just cool in general. Bullshit. I appreciate the flattery, but back on BS. Something tells me you got your fingers in a little deeper there, bud. Teach you how to weld? Honestly, dude, like, no joke, all joking aside, watch YouTube videos. It's not hard. Get some scrap metal, practice it. It's not hard. You'll get the trick is just making sure you start with a good bead. Keep your wire flow at the right speed according to your heat. If you go to pull the trigger and it's popping with it before the metal or the wire ever makes it, you're too slow on the wire feed. If it starts pushing back at you, popping, your speed is too high. If you go to take a weld and it's just popping all over the metal, not actually penetrating, your heat's too low. Yeah, Happy New Year. Everybody loves Jeff. Can't translate it. That's so mean. And I love it. Why didn't I think of that? It's worth it, man. I really made some pretty big modifications to mine. That's one thing I do like about the next level racing seats is that they're all metal. So the options are endless, really. That's the beauty about working with metal. Cut too much, put it back on. Cut too little, take it off. Need a bend? Bend it. I love working with metal. Yes, that's right. Commenters always have the best answer. Like, I'm no pro, man. I said it in the beginning of that video, but it holds. Nothing's falling apart. It's sitting right there next to us. Yes. I built it. It's sitting right here, and I guarantee you someone on that video has said I've done it wrong. You're right. Clearly. Doesn't work. It's effed up. That's one of the things that I point out in that video too. You don't have to be a badass welder. You don't have to be a structural welder. You're not holding up 400 pounds, you know? I think the heaviest platform I've got here maybe has 20 pounds on it. Like, hit it, bang it with, tap it with a hammer, kick it with your foot. If it doesn't bend, you're good. Yeah, see? I didn't know you have the H3, Murph. I actually have mine out in the living room. Thinking about taking it apart. Ah, welcome aboard, man. Yeah, I can't wait. Pimax and I were talking the other day, and I can't wait. That's all I can say. And yeah, dude, grats. You'll love it, dude. It's a whole different experience. If you haven't already, Jeff, although knowing you, I'm sure you have, look up OpenXR mirror capture. Great way for recording VR. The API connects directly to the headset or to OpenXR and pulls it directly from OpenXR rather than trying to record the headset. You still only get one eye, but like for GA, doesn't matter. Pick the left or right eye. You know, I usually use the right eye in GA. The only time it sucks is in single seat, like F-18s, F-16s, because you always have that tweak. But then what I do is just move the camera over a little bit. Yeah, no, dude. The Quest 3 is great for its pass-through or mixed reality, but that's it. With that stupid link cable, you just can't get the performance out of it. Love my voice and beyond ATC. Am I flying with you, bud? I'm a celebrity. Or are you talking to Jeff? Was that to Jeff? I just thought about it. He's in it too. Probably Jeff. Everyone wants to hear Jeff in their pilot seat. Oh, we're just now coming off of. Still gotta just go. Well, we'll be on the star soon. Once we get to bump. Yeah. Yeah, I like it, dude. Beyond ATC is awesome. Murphy's the tour guide on Say Intentions. That's awesome. It's amazing. You guys ever like slow down for a second and go back and think about what flight simming was? Let's keep it small. 10 years ago. Oh dear, I'm sorry. he lands at the wrong airports and stuff, Murph, but you know, you're with him. Right, randomly saw that overkill guy and was like, nope. We're around the world together. I know it, Jeff, yeah. I know, dude. I know. That's the other thing. I am super excited. Definitely coming back to OCRP. I miss it so much, dude. That's why I got all the stream and everything up and running again. That's going to be fun. I'm going to come and ruin your scenes. I'm going to break all the policies and just in a single video, you guys are going to kick me out. But yeah, I'm excited for GTA 6. That's gonna be sick, dude. Don't they have voice cloning? Like for what? I'm still in the clouds with overkill. Why you gotta say it like that? We haven't even gotten to dinner yet. I'm just kidding. Yes, exactly, dude. I'm famous in Germany? Wow. Cool. Hopefully that's a good thing. Reinstalls GTA 5. Yeah, right? Right? Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I was thinking about, see, where did I first start? I don't even think I really gave FSX really much of a go, so I don't think it's a fair comparison. But I did P3D, and I think I got all the way, played it till version 4, or flew it. Guess I shouldn't say played it. And then X-Plane 11 for a long time. The Zebo 737 was my go-to, man. I actually did X-Plane 11 with the Zebo 737 on Pilot Edge. But I always flew the same route. I was too chicken shit to go anywhere else. I had to do one where I knew they weren't going to yell at me for anything. It was always Tucson to LA. Actually, I might have gone to Vegas once. Oh, I see. That'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah, the tech alone, dude. That's why I rebuilt the cockpit. That's why I did so many additions to it, man. It was just, there's so much. It's constantly changing. And all great companies doing it too, man. Like, there's just... Oh, it's cool. That'd be pretty dope, not gonna lie. Fly with overkill, you get one hell of a ride, let me tell you. There we go. That's a cool shot. Well, that's the thing. That's sort of what I was getting at. Like, you look at how much they've advanced. Like, everything has advanced over the last, I would say the last 2 years, especially, has been amazing for flight simulation. I'm not going to say that I've never gotten frustrated just like anybody else, but it's far and few between. Most of it I take pretty well. Because there's always something else. It's like, all right, well, that's broken. Let's move over here to do this. SeaTac. Cool. Oh, I see what you were saying about the ground speed now. I see it now. I don't know why that doesn't do it. That's an add-on that does that, so it must not be pulling it from the right location. Yeah, find out where Jeremy lives, get close with him, please, and then egg his house for me. Like twice. Nothing crazy. There's like 2 eggs. Just enough to be annoying and cause him some inconvenience. No damage. They love it. They think it's pretty cool. They love to watch Dad fly. I've got one who's like, so I have 2 girls that are my youngest. I have 3 children, but my oldest is 20. Still lives here, but my youngest, my 7-year-old, she's like, she loves this stuff. And to give you an example of her personality, this is a true story. It literally happened. She was all dressed up in a princess dress, had her little crown on, with a lightsaber in her hand, a shield in the other, and I heard her fighting off a dragon. So, like, she's that princess who doesn't need a knight. Check my Discord. I don't know how to do that. What part of I'm new to this do you miss? I thought I already give you, I thought you had access to it. Like everything. Oh, friend of my daughter's had her baby. Anyway. Oh, well, you're gonna have to show me how to do that later. I don't know how to freaking do that. Let's see. There you go. Figured it out. I don't need you. Take care, buddy. Happy New Year, brother. Good luck to you as well. Where we at? Oh, we still got a minute. You'd be surprised how much they follow you, man. And congratulations. Congratulations. You made that clear. Oh, you're still being butthurt about that. Wow, even on stream. Took me a second to catch up to you on that one, but it's like, oh, crybaby. I don't need no man. Yes, nothing will ever. So is it? I'm assuming your first kiddo, based on upcoming dad, be the greatest experience you've ever had in your life, and there will never be another experience like it. Yeah, see? Same. I've been in estrogen hell all my life. I have 3 daughters, no sons, and I had 3 older sisters, no brothers. So it's just become a part of where I'm at. I have 2 male dogs, but one of them's neutered. But it's definitely good times. Nothing better in the world. Speaking of which, I'm going to step away for just a second, gents. Peeps, everybody. Gotta make sure mine haven't burned the house yet. Alrighty. Alright, getting a bit closer to our top of descent. So let's start working through some new stuff here. Let's jump into our punculator. The performance tool, landing en route. And yeah, we can import from the OFP. See if it populates everything. Huh, doesn't look like that did anything. Anyway. ILS 3-4 right. I think it only gives you part of it. That makes sense too. 3-4 right. Dry conditions at the moment. Aircraft. Or aircraft details. I love that. So this is a really cool one. So this right here, the weight, is actually what your expected weight is at arrival. So if you go to, is it performance? Yeah, so you can see currently it shows us at 491,000 pounds. If we come over here, it's got us at 480. So that's going to be what your anticipated weight is at landing. So it's really cool that it does that. It's actually very handy. The real aircraft doesn't have that. Reversers, we can put, if we want, all open. Auto brakes will be 3. Normal, non-normal conditions, nope. VREF, so our speed, we're going to do +5. Usually would be the wind component. I'm not going to worry about that. Let's see what we got. QNH 3009. Still shows the temperature out there is 0. Why do I call BS on that? But anyway, if we hit calculate, wind 090 at 6. So it's going to be a crosswind. And that's our anticipating stopping point. Now, that's assuming that a pilot who actually knows what he's doing can land this thing, because we'll probably stop like here. Maybe. Anyway, so that's pretty dope. We'll come back to that later. Let's go ahead and look at the EFB for a second. Go back to the home page. Go to our arrival. See if we get... Temperature still shows 0. I'll be damned. That's a cold day. Anyway. Yeah, you'll love it, Zocker. You'll love it. Congrats, man. Nothing like it in the world. My greatest achievement is and always will be my kids. Okay. Emotional moment over. Bro moment. Let's see what we got here. Did I set the flap config? I don't think I did. I don't remember doing it. Go back to the performance tool, landing en route. No, flaps 30. So you normally do 25? It's my understanding. 30 would be on shorter fields or abnormal conditions where you need to stop the aircraft a bit faster. But you'll also obviously be coming in a bit slower. So obviously you want to keep it as streamlined as you can. And there we go. Wait, 480, VREF 144, landing 732, available distance 12,000 feet. So yeah, we have plenty of distance left. Cool. So we got that part done. Now, one of the really neat things is even though we are not below our transition altitude, we can go to our barometer. And as long as you don't push it, we can set our QNH. And it'll put it right down here in the standby position. And I already forgot what it said it was. 3009. Okay. And I'll still usually about 7,000 or 8,000 feet. I always check it again anyway, but obviously Tower would give it to you too. I think that's 3009. Nope. 3010. There we go. So now that's ready. So when we do push that, automatically swap over to 309. We can set our auto brakes. 3. When you're learning, do as much of this early on as you can. It will be so much easier for you. All right, so on the FMC, we're going to go back to initial reference. Here we are. So remember we were talking about flaps 25. And then we're going to drop it under flap speed. Our gross weight, we want to change that to 48. It should be 480. Is that what it said? 480.7. I'm almost right on point with my guide. 480. We are 1,000 pounds lighter than we are in the guide. Not too bad. All right. Got that in. We can set our decision height. This part sucks. So the reason why it sucks is we're using, and all this information, all the copies of screenshots of all the charts are in the guide as well, guys. So if you want to support me on Patreon. The reason why this bites is because we're using barometric. You only use the radar, which is the 200 feet above ground level in like Cat 3 conditions, low, poor visibility kind of things, right? That's when you use the radar. Otherwise, you should be using barometric. And the barometric decision height for Denver is 5,554 feet. So we're going to come right here, make sure it's set to baro, and make sure we're going the right way. That's a good start too. And hold shift because we're going to need it. Let's try that again. Shift. Let's just use the wheel then. Mercy. There we go. It's going a bit faster. All right, man. Take it easy. Thanks for joining the stream. Best of luck to you and yours, by the way, as well. we still going? Okay, cool. Almost. Oops. Oh, ruined it. There, now we're getting close. Oh, nope, went too far. Oh, no, I didn't. Math, bro, math. Damn that stupid scroll button. I'm barely touching it. There we go. Getting closer. There's 200. 300. 400. All right. Yay, we did it. That part sucks. All right, Jay, have a good one, man. All right, and while we're here, we're going to verify on the rad nav that the aircraft has the correct frequencies. So we're looking for 111.1. So there it is, ILS 111.1 with a final approach course of 353 degrees. While we're on the 353, we'll go ahead and put that in the heading box. There we go. And it's too soon to be tracking it, so we're not going to worry about that part yet. We can go to our checklist. Sent checklist, do a recall. Nothing on the recall, good. Recall checked, notes. So if you had any notes or the aircraft picked up any errors or things that needed to be addressed, I believe there'd be a box right in here. Oh no, excuse me, sorry. There would be a button right here that said notes. And you would click that and address any notes. And again, that's the aircraft systems that would be generating that. So if you ever open your checklist and there's a button here that says notes, you need to look at that. Auto brake is set. Landing data, VREF, and references are set. Approach briefing, we're going to land. Okay, approach briefing complete. And I think that's it until the top of descent. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and set us all the way down to 7,000. And I think I locked my oldest out of the house. I'll be right back. Yep, totally did. Okay. So now, once again, we are chilling until we reach the top of descent. Once we reach the top of descent, the aircraft will automatically start descending. I don't want to do a night landing. That doesn't sound fun right now. So we're going to bring the daylight up just a bit. There we go. And from here, we can return to the legs page. And just before bowl, or just after bowl, is when we will reach our top of descent. So, good stuff. So it looks like there is supposed to be a patch coming to 2024 shortly, according to what I'm just reading. Doesn't say when yet, but new scenery, updated marketplace. Sounds like the marketplace will finally be fixed. That'll be nice. We'll have to hope that that actually goes well. Do I have a logo sitting over my face on YouTube? I think I do. Mm-hmm. You can do that too. So what he's referring to here, come down to the progressor page. The progressor page. Assuming I can find it. Jeez, right in front of my face. And time to top of descent, 169 miles. So first off, it hasn't even popped up yet. Yeah, we can't even get to the descent page yet. But if you're talking about just managing the distance, I do that too. And then I know we can get the descend now. It's under my mic. Nice. $2024. So it's sort of a mixed question that I'm always scared to answer. So we were actually talking about this earlier. I really didn't, aside from the first day that everyone else did, I didn't have the, or even still don't. But I never really had the problems that everybody else had. You know, I didn't have all the crashes. I didn't have a lot of the freezes. I had that first day. I got into the first time I launched the sim, got into it fine. Everything worked out well. Then I closed out of it for a little while. And then when I went back to get into it, that's when I got into everything else. You know, all the where the loading page was just hanging forever. You know, I had those experiences just like everybody else did. But then the next day, it was fine. It's honestly, like we were just talking about this earlier, I had my first crash of desktop in 2024 last week. And honestly, I think I caused it. So, yeah, no, I haven't really had that problem. So, my answer to that is I think it is, as long as you're willing to wait for a lot of the third-party aircraft to be supported. For example, the PMDG is not. They are waiting on a bug fix. So, from the sim. The sim is actually causing a problem. I have both installed. Like, this is 2020. "2020 still absolutely has a place right now. Just like we saw with 2020 when it launched, 2024, it's going to be a while before it's mature. You know, it's going to be a while before it's ready to take 2020's throne, if you will. 2020 is far more stable, far more compatibility. In the end, when it gets ironed out, I truly do believe what they say, that 2024 is going to shatter everyone else. With the exception, I still believe, of flight modeling. But we'll see. And all I mean by flight modeling is that, you know, it would be nice to see 2020 with its VFR capability to become FAA certified. You know, do I see that happening? No, especially with the use of the Xbox. But you never know. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't. There's no reason to uninstall one. If you've got the hard drive space, there's no reason to. And that's the other advantage 2024 is hard drive space isn't really as much of a concern. But that would be the only reason why I would say uninstall one versus the other, is if you were trying to save space. But when it comes to flight modeling, I still think that X-Plane takes the cake. Wrong way. Oh! Smash the chair into the Bravo. I think the hard part with 2024, it's sort of a catchy way to say it, or catchy. What's the word I'm looking for? A dangerous way to say it for me. I still stand firm that they were not as open as they should have been. I still believe they absolutely overpromised and underdelivered on launch day. But at the same token, I don't fault them for it. Like, if that makes sense. You know, when a lot of people say that, you know, oh, they're in it just for the money. Like, so is every other person who has something to sell. You know? Like, that's just the end of the day. But I do believe what they say. I do believe they're going to do everything they say they're going to do. 2020, in my opinion, I was talking to someone about this a couple weeks ago. They were trying to say that 2020 didn't live up to all of its promises. I think that 2020 they did everything they said they were going to do. You know? So I don't see why they're not going to hit that with 2024 as well. I think it's going to be a fantastic simulator. Where I think 2024 is going to shine over 2020 is VFR flying. Flying VFR with those high definition satellite images as more and more come into the sim. Because they said, I mean, their goal is to go global with it, where everywhere you fly pretty much everywhere you fly will have those high definition sceneries. Or I should say high accurate. About 90 miles. Like, even 2020, like, this is gorgeous. This is one of the cooler parts about these longer flights is you don't spend as much time in the flight deck. You can actually get out and walk around. The wing views are always so dope. Freaking plane, dude. And that's only at the wing. I wasn't even the far after the aircraft. This is just at the wing. And it just goes and goes. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's why they pushed it out too. I mean, they have a deadline. You know that they were under pressure from Microsoft. Like, there's just no ands, if, or buts about it. We know that Microsoft pushed it out. Yeah, I agree. They should have waited another year. The same token, it's got to be tough. So, you know, I used to see this in DCS World all the time. And Eagle Dynamics would always, you know, give the option of early access. And then so you had those people who would jump on early access, not really understanding what you're committing to when you buy something that's early access. You know, the fact that early access literally means I'm incomplete. I may run into bugs, blah, blah, blah. And then they just stopped doing early access. But at least they own it up. And like with the F-16, you know, when Eagle Dynamics launched the F-16 for DCS World, they literally came out and said, we're sorry. Like, we released it too soon. Even if they had just done something like that, I think it would have smoothed a lot of things over. But yeah, I think it needed at least another year. But then, like I was about to say, there's so many people who would appreciate them getting it right and waiting to launch it. But then there on the other half of the coin, there's all the people who will go up in flames over it and say that, nope, you promised it on this date, this date, this date. And so, like, I get both sides. But yeah, I think it needed another year. I mean, being realistic. Which was crazy to me, I guess, coming back one more time, is that 2020 was still banging. Like, they had said that they saw the largest influx of flight simulation users with the launch of 2020 than any other flight simulator had ever seen. I can't remember what the number was now, but I want to say it was like 4 million new, or 40 million, 20 million, something like that. Some ungodly number of new flight simmers. And so it was like, then leave it alone, let the other one cook, like you said, let it bake. But we have them. They're here. They're both cool. I will again agree that in 2024 I get much better FPS. I don't know what they did differently. Maybe it's just that it's solidly DirectX 12. I'm sure that plays a big part in it, but I get fantastic performance in it. It's great in VR, by the way. This has been fun, man. I miss live streaming. Probably have to do shorter flights usually, but this has been a good one. It's fun getting on and geeking out. Gonna have a lot of cool stuff to show over the next couple months too, man. Stoked to show you guys a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I have a 4080, and in the Pimax Crystal Light, like, it doesn't care. And I've noticed my usage anywhere from 95 to 96% on average. Where 2020, sometimes I'd see it as low as 40 and 50%. Like, sometimes it was bad. Like, it was like, dude, got this $1,400 graphics card that's sitting twiddling its thumbs. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So much overhead just wasted. Almost time for top of descent. So doing a barrel roll in it now would be great. I'm sure that's within the operational limits of the aircraft, right? You are definitely not first, sir. What's up, Jay? Nah, man, we've been going, let's see here, probably about 2 hours now. Catching us at the top of descent, though. Oh, dude, especially if you're rocking a 4090, you are missing out. Flight simulation, in my personal opinion, is where VR shines the most. Um, and I would say that the biggest reason why would be depth perception. Your landings, your takeoffs, your especially low level flight, it's a whole different bag of worms. When you first do it, when you've done it for the first time that you're up at high altitude and you do one of these numbers, it'll get you. But I will definitely say, hands down, that to anyone who does flight simulation, as long as you're not someone who it makes sick, like some people just can't do it. If you're not one of those, VR hands down. That's another thing that's come so far. Virtual reality is just absolutely phenomenal. It's come so far. I remember when I bought the first release from Oculus, the Oculus CV1. So hard to see. You had screen door effect, and even that was badass. Now, mercy. And down we go. Awesome sauce. Yeah, buddy. What's up, Mike? Oh, yeah, man. Exactly. Exactly. DCS is where I started my VR ride, too. Absolutely phenomenal. And I actually want to say it was in the A10. You know what else is amazing in DCS and in VR is any of the helicopters, but there's something about the Huey. Because you have that bubble nose, you can see down below. I don't know. Everything. The Huey's my favorite module in DCS anyway. But gripping and ripping across the treetops, doing hot LZ landings in it. Yes, it is. I saw that too. No, but the divorce and last year, you know, we're coming up on a year now since my wife and I separated. It was actually a year this week. Being single dad of 3 kids kind of pushed that on the back burner for a minute, but only by a few months. So I can start as early as April, but it's one of those, do I really feel like getting my license in the summer of Tucson, Arizona? Like, I mean, at some point you do have to learn to fly on a trampoline, but oh yeah, no, dude, Jesse, trust me, man. I totally get your process, and by all means, take your time, but you try it in flight simulation, it's done. Like, you'll mortgage the house. I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. So I have the kids pretty much all the time, so it's just a shift in priorities for a minute, especially with Christmas there, and my kids are 7 and 9 and 20, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's it. So the trick is to eat breakfast every day right before you fly. And I say breakfast because you only fly in Tucson early in the morning. Very early in the morning. So yours truly is rocking the 4080. And I actually I upgraded from the 3900 XT to the 7900 X3D, which comparable. It's a bit faster, but the Pimax Crystal Light. And yes, I have a partnership with Pimax, but I have called them out many times. Like, for example, one of the things I'll say right here, right now, they release things way too early. It's every single release they've ever done. It's too soon. But with that being said, I'm a Pimax fanboy. I have purchased and owned every single headset that Pimax has ever released. The first one they ever gave to me was the 8KX. Oh, no, not the 8KX, the Crystal. Then the Crystal Light. That was the first one they ever provided to me. The 8KX I purchased with my own money, and I'm telling you all this just so you understand where I'm coming from. How I became a fanboy. It wasn't because they reached out and said, hey, try this. And I think the Crystal Light for flight simulation, for any kind of seated simulation, is the best, hands down. Hands down. Now, the Super that they're going to come out with, if you're into mixed reality, and if you don't know what that is, look it up, because there's a lot to it. But basically, you can combine your real-world cockpit with the VR, what you're seeing in the headset. There's a whole lot to it, and it's still very much so in its infancy. But in my opinion, the best bang for the buck, if you don't want all the bells and whistles, it's still got the inside-out tracking, so you don't need a base station. For seated simulation, whether that be, I don't know, American Truck Simulator, racing, or flight simulation, the Crystal Light. The resolution is fantastic. The field of view is perfect for what we do. It's comfortable. It's lightweight. And it works well with most video systems. You do not need the 4090, for example. You absolutely don't. Did my view move? No. Okay. I thought my whole sim moved there for a second. Let's see where we're at. Yoink. Are we on target? No, we're descending slow. Might make it. If it doesn't work under managed mode, Robert's here. We all get to blame him. I think we're descending too slow. I'm just kidding. They have to do this all the time. Let's pitch her down. So I don't think we're going to reach it. Don't tell me what to do. You want your speed brake? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. See the throttles? Like, Those poor throttles are like, holy hell. I'm sorry. I've been going since 4 a.m. and it is now 6:30 here, and I'm still going to be up probably till midnight. I get a little crazy. It's a little weird. I think this is number 3 today? 3 or 4. And there will probably be one other one before the day's over. Alright, we should be... Just barely, but I think we're going to make it. Right on the money. Close enough when we're beyond path. You can see that we're above it. Yeah, and every day is like that right now for me, man. I average about 3 to 4 hours a night. Let's come out of vertical speed. Oh, okay. Why are you still in vertical speed? I don't want you in vertical speed. Got way below slope now, so there we go. Why isn't it coming out of hold mode? Alright, we're going to go back into vertical speed until I can fix why it's doing that. That's weird. Pushing that should have pushed it back into the descent out of hold mode, right? Or put it back into the descent? Oh, son of a... Yes. What was that you were saying about the long days getting weird? Yes. VNAV would be the answer. Shit. You know, it's funny. So I do IT for a living. We have this phrase, the devil's in the details, right? And it references one of those troubleshooting incidences where you'll be spending hours and hours and you'll be racking your head, pulling your hair out. And it's something like this where it's staring you right in the face. Usually it's like a checkbox or something or a setting, right? That's right in front of you. Good eyes. Because yes, that's exactly why. Well, as long as it's your walls, I don't care. I want you to think of me every time you go to your office now. Now I'm just going to start sending you things. I'm going to start emailing you. Hey, look what I did. I'm going to show the airplane inverted. I'm going to make sure all the failures are running and then go and fly it. Alright, so like we talked about before, we're passing through our transition altitude. We already put our altitude on standby there, so we can just hit standard. There we go. We can come down and even do a check. Looks like We're still 3009, so that's accurate. Whoa, that was weird. Yeah, right. So something I like to do that's pretty cool, though. I'll show you guys something that I think is neat. We're going to go to the fix page. I'm going to put KDen on. This is really helpful, especially when you're learning. If you're trying to, like, make mental notes of where you want to be at certain distances. So what we're going to do is, this is Denver Airport, obviously. Is we're going to put rings around it. Okay, so at 5, 10, and 15-mile rings. And as you pass through those rings, it allows you on the nav display to sort of make a mental note where you should be, whether it be speed or whatever it may be. So how we're going to do that is we're just going to do /5. So how I like to do this. /10. And then / obviously, you guys probably know where I'm going with this, 15. And you don't have to do all three. You can just do whatever you want. But for me, it's really helpful. And you guys can see right there what it did. So there's our rings. And so now it sort of gives you that visual reference that as you start coming into that area. And it works on, I think, all the Boeings. Sort of a neat little tool that I like to use. Thought I would share that with you guys. Thought that was kind of neat. Alright, so now let's start going through, make sure. So you can see we are now tracking the ILS. Got our final approach course in. Not quite ready for lights yet. You are slowing down on me again. I'm going to go ahead and go into speed intervention. Let's go ahead and kick it down to 240 knots. And the reason why I do this early is when you're learning, sort of just give yourself time. That's the beautiful part about simulation. Fly the plane the way you want to fly the plane. You know, as long as you get it down safely, you know. Got our flap up speed to take note of, 220 knots. Anything below that speed, we would obviously have to bring some flaps in. We are still going slow, man. That descent is slow. Yeah, there you go. That's true too. Yeah. This is just a neat tool that's already in the aircraft. You can see it. I mean, you gotta think about how often you're looking at the nav display. Alright. Now we're coming up on 11. Look, Jesse, I remembered VNAV. Alright, so we start to make the turn. You can see DME, we're tracking the ILS. We got 28 nautical miles, so I have to go to localizer. Change my altitude. FMC message, drag required. Yeah, I bet. Speed mode. 200 knots. There's our airspeed going flaps 1. Got the localizer locked. Lights. I do turn my text light on now because obviously a little bit hard to do when you don't have anyone helping you. Nobody wants to help me. I'm all alone. Sorry. We're gonna go flaps 5. Bring the speed brakes back up. Okay. And you guys can see here we're sitting below the glide slope. So we can just sort of let it do its slow descent until we meet it. But now that we've acquired it, go to approach mode. And once the aircraft meets with it, it will go ahead and descend down with it. That was funny, Robert. That one got me. He comes down like a brick. Alright. Let's go ahead and take a look at... We're going to re-verify our altimeters like I told you guys. It's like 3007 now. Let's do a checklist. Altimeter is the only thing we had on it. The approach. Back to our engine page. Yeah, I bet. This is actually gonna work out nice now. The other thing I'll give you guys a heads up on, Robert, I don't know if this is supposed to happen, but I did notice this happening to me the other night. When the speed goes into hold mode, okay, the auto throttle essentially has found a good throttle position for the throttles for whatever it's doing at the time. But while it's in hold mode, if you move your physical throttles, you have the ability to control them and increase or decrease the speed. What I have found is on occasion, and it could be caused by ghosting or something like that, is that when it goes into hold mode, if my throttle, my physical throttle, is forward, is all of a sudden it pushes it forward, and then the aircraft doesn't slow down then as well. So admittedly, something that I have found that helps is make sure that your throttles, when you're on autopilot, are at idle. I'd rather it slow down than speed up when I'm trying to slow it down. So just something I noticed that was happening. All right, so we're now at 10 miles. So now we're going to start bringing in some flaps. We're going to go gear down. And again, normally you would do this at like 5 or 6. But as you're learning, give yourself time, be comfortable. It's just a simulator. As long as Robert isn't in one of your streams, you'll be fine. I'm going to go ahead and hold this altitude for a minute. I'm going to take us down to 5,800 feet on the altitude target. That's going to be the missed approach altitude for Denver. And you can see that even that we were holding, we flew level flight. We met with the glide slope. Aircraft continued its descent on the glide slope. And let's start slowing this thing down to the VREF because I'm an idiot and wasn't paying attention to that. 149 plus 5. That's going to be 154. Okay. Flaps. Where are we at? 194. We'll pull a little bit of speed brake. Help it slow down a bit faster because I missed my target by like a lot. That was my fault. Well, we'll find out in a minute. How's it going, Dead Stick? Alright, that's looking better. Alright, now we'll go... We're at reference flaps. Probably a little early, once again. Crossing into 5 miles now. And now, just need a real quick, again, normally you would have help, or I do this sooner. A quick landing checklist. Landing checklist looks good. Back to the engine page. 1. And you do not have to disengage the auto throttles. The other cool thing about this aircraft is that it will automatically retard the throttles for you, even when you've disengaged the autopilot. So we're going to disengage the autopilot here, obviously land it, so that way Robert can make his final notes on how much damage I did to the runway and the aircraft. But
500.
all right, here we go. Have fun, Robert. Autopilot disengage. Click the button twice.
Minimums.
Come right. Come right.
100.
Come right, baby. Come right, baby. Come right, baby.
50. 40.
Light slow.
30. 20. 10.
Reversers deployed. Take the speed ramp. Spoilers retracted. Oh, hush. Nobody asked you. I pushed the throttles too far because I'm turning it. So it yelled at me. Come on, Big Mama. That's 1 taxi light. That's 4 taxi lights. Somebody's cat. Oops. Little wide on the turn off there. A little bit. Okay, so now, woo! Let's clear that. We're not worried about that. Flaps retracted. Oh, I just pushed something. Hope that wasn't important. Coming up top. Landing lights off. Taxi lights are on. We're going to go ahead and start the APU. It's a little early for this taxi, but usually within your couple minutes you can start it. Flaps retracted, spoilers retracted, reverse retracted. I think that's it. Check our checklist. Transponder. Back to transponder. Good. Okay. And a lot of times they will do like a single engine taxi as well. I'm not going to. Hey, Sky High, how's it going, man? Same to you. Happy New Year. Nicely done. Pretty sure I took out a Volkswagen. I didn't know they put speed bumps on the runway. Cool. Altitude back down to 0. I didn't think you'd disable it. APU is running. APU running. We'll go ahead and do a single engine shutdown. Just the right engine. Well, I'll tell you what. If you've ever flown Southwest, if anyone could do it, it'd be Southwest. I feel like most Atlantics, and I have nothing against them, by the way. I've always had a good experience on Southwest. I know some people like you either love them or hate them. They've always been great to me, so just throwing that out there. Man, I don't know that. I think there's been once of all the times I've flown with them, which is many, that I've flown with Southwest where it didn't seem like they dropped a piano on the ground. Especially into Vegas. I've been to Vegas quite a few times, and every single time we landed, wow! I remember the first time I was going with my ex-wife, and we were coming in, and we get to probably the 20, 30-foot range, and you felt it float, and I'm sitting there, and I always have the window seat. And we're sitting there, and she was sort of a nervous flyer anyway. Oops. And so as soon as, like, you know how you just know, like, they were floating, they're floating, and then you just feel it give. And I just looked at her, I said, hold on. And she goes, what? Wow! It was funny. You hear so many people, like, in the aisle, oh, shit! It was so bad, dude. But every time. And then coming to Tucson just sucks anyway. Like I said, if you ever have to come into Tucson, you fly early morning. Otherwise, it's going to be a bumpy ride in. We're surrounded on all four sides by a mountain chain. The thermals get ridiculous. The winds get ridiculous. And it doesn't matter if it's December or middle of July. Trust me, by noon, it's still hot. And just pounds you. But, oh my gosh, it was funny. Every time. I love flying with them. I still fly Southwest this day. But every single time I've landed with them, get funked. Funny enough, my best, I think, that I've flown with is, as far as landings go, is American. I've had some butter landings with them. Flew once into Minneapolis with them, and then once into Boston. And they were both pillows. Man, even with one engine off, this thing still taxis like a bat out of hell. I feel like the engine's like, bet. Turn too soon. You want to follow that line, and it's like, no, you don't. Not like that. Like me personally. I think it's cool watching the rear wheels on these things turn. I hate that Microsoft does that. If you go to turn the camera, while you're turning the camera, you lose all controls. If only there was a software and an eye tracker and other headsets and things that can make it so you can turn your head without worrying about that. I know. I was being lazy today and didn't feel like hooking it up. That was a little closer. What's up, Bright? How you doing, man? Slow, baby. I don't think I'm where I wanted to be to taxi to the gate, but oh well. I'm gonna put it right there. Alright, taxi light off before we make the turn so we don't blind everyone on the ground. Because I've heard that's a pretty messed up thing to do. Let's start. Come on, big girl. See how we did. Damn! Missed! Alright, parking brake set. Left engine down. Oh, mercy. Lights are all off. Beacon light can come off. Probably should have waited for the engines to spool down a little bit more before we did that, but that's alright. Alright, so with the engines off, now seatbelt signs can go to off. Electronic signs can go to off. Now, with the hydraulic pumps, we're going to do the same thing like we did before. So we're going to do left, right. And these we're going to come here. Wait for the fault lights to all illuminate, and then we'll shut off the right electric. Fuel pumps off. Light directors. Transponder. Checklist. Oops. Oh well. There we go. Shut down. And the parking brake is set. Okay. Alrighty. Let's reconnect ground power. If I can find the right screen. If I can find the right screen. Ground connections. Jetway. And ground power. Oh, set chocks. Sorry. Ground power. There's the jetway. Ground power is available. Turn those on. You off. I think that's it for the critical stuff. All right, guys. Well, that is my first live stream in over a year, and with nothing better than the fantastic PMDG 777. Highly recommend you guys pick this up if you haven't. Make sure you guys consider joining me on Patreon if you're interested in a tutorial guide for this that has all the screenshots and everything like that. And Robert can tell you all the terrible notes that he has for me and my flying, but that's just the nature of the business. If you're going to fly it like you stole it. That's the rule. But really appreciate all of you over the last year and the last 5 years. I really never expected my channel to grow this to this point. This is a ton of fun. So really hope you guys all enjoyed that. For those of you who have been around since the beginning of the flight, thanks for sticking around. Those of you who jumped in, glad you jumped in. For those of you who just caught the end, we will be doing a lot more streams in 2025. That's what this stream was all about, was get everything set up so that we could do that. You guys can catch me on Twitch or here on YouTube. Links to both are obviously in the description. If you're on YouTube, you already found me. But if you're interested in following me on Twitch, make sure that you guys check it out over there. Also, make sure you guys check out my second channel. The link to it will be down in the description below, but it's YouTube at Overkill Entertainment 8. The 8 I had to. But it's going to be everything outside of flight simulation. There will still be some flight sim stuff, but it's literally a catch-all. I'm going to be posting everything on it. And I just found out today that I don't need a subscriber limit to live stream on it. So we're going to be doing a lot. American Truck Simulator, Farming Simulator, Racing, Survival, you name it. It's all going to be there. So, but thank you guys all so much for the continued support and the love. Again, hope you guys enjoyed the flight. As always, stay safe and healthy. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good weekend.